it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and I've got a big mess to clean up today. There used to be a corral right where I stood, and I didn't like having it here. It wasn't complete. We had no plans to keep any livestock. There was no other fencing around it, even if we did. So I ripped it all out of the ground. I was going to cut that up and then haul it off for scrap metal. Well, the problem was it was made out of a solid pipe in places, and it was really slow cutting it, and I had so much cutting to do. I left it sitting there. I said, I'll get that later. It's now been like 2 years later. And of course, it's just a mess of jumbled pipe. It was a big corral, and all that pipe is buried in these weeds. And I've already ruined 2 mower blades by trying to mow around this, and 2 different spots there was a piece of pipe sticking out that I just clipped with the end of my mower. So not only is it a tremendous eyesore, but now it's costing me money. So I need to get in there and get something done with it. And the problem I had before of it taking so long to cut up was because I didn't have a torch or anything else. I was just trying to use a handheld angle grinder, and that would have taken forever. Now I've got a plasma cutter. So let's see if we can get this all dug out, get this area mowed down. I mean, it's gonna take a brush hog, and then see if I can get that pipe dealt with. The work I need to do today reminds me of a saying that I hear all the time in the videos that I watch, because I watch a lot of business coaches and motivational speakers and people talking to you about how to be more productive or more successful or live a happier life. And one phrase I hear a lot is, make your damn bed. Because if you don't make your bed, you're going to end up lying in it, and it's going to be a mess, and you're not going to like it. And there's literal interpretations of that mean like, start off the day by making your bed, because it puts you on a path of accomplishing a task that you can repeat, and it's kind of sets you off on the right foot. And then worst case scenario, at the end of a bad day, you at least come home to a nicely made bed. But another way of thinking about that phrase is that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And I can absolutely see that pattern in my life. Here are the types of things I'm good at, and those things I do really well. And here are the places that I fall short. And it's always the same stuff. And it's the little things, and it's the follow-through. It's that last 10% of the job that if you just take that extra time and get that extra 10%, you wouldn't have to come back to a day like today. So right now, I'm going to start getting pipe out of the weeds. But as we go through the day, we'll just talk more about that. Now, I get comments all the time telling me how dangerous the job I'm doing is, and that I should be taking certain precautions, and I need to listen to that. But out of all of the jobs I can remember doing, this is one of the most dangerous things I've done. And I think here in a minute, you'll see what I'm talking about. So now you can see why this is particularly challenging, because we've got pipe going in both directions, long pipe, and the first thing I ran into is probably 50 foot long. It goes all the way down to the other end. And to get this out with the tractor, the best bet would be to loop a chain around it and hook to the drawbar and pull it out. But I think, rather than do that, I'm gonna bring the skid steer grapple in. I think if I get a hold of it with that, it'll just grab it and pull it out in one shot. So this pipe is old and rusty and broken in places, and it's buried in this thick weeds, which is all matted together and has a good grip on the pipe. So when I start pushing and pulling on pipe that is weak and held in place and tangled together and may already have cracks and splits in it, the potential is there that at any moment that can break or pop free and fly up into the windshield of the cab, or, you know, damage the machine or worse. And I've got the severe duty door on the skid steer, which is why I switched to it. But even though those are pretty tough, it's still possible to send something through the front of it. So really had to be thoughtful about the way I was doing it. Now what I'm thinking is I do want to go ahead and mow this, because I could drop more pieces of pipe in here and be fishing through this tall grass again. So I'm going to walk this area that I've been over, make sure there's nothing left, then I'm going to mow it. Even after walking that, I won't be surprised if there's still more junk in there. Well, we've got probably more than a third of it done. Yeah, probably about a third. Oh, this isn't any fun. The lesson from this is, don't leave your messes laying around. So I'm sitting here talking about how I'm trying to be more careful as I push through this and dig out the pipe. And I actually had a couple spots where it seems sketchy. And really, there's no safe way to do this. And there's no excuse for leaving that pipe here long enough that it got buried. I'm trying to make a commitment to cleaning up all of the projects like this on the property and then doing a better job of staying on top of things going forward. But I've got 3 or 4 more areas like this on the property that are just flat out a big mess. And I'm going to go through and get all those taken care of first. One of my favorite jokes is only funny because it's true, and that is the story of the laziness quotient. So you take the amount of work that you are able to get out of and divide it by the amount of effort it takes to get out of that work. So this would equate to a kid who could clean their room in 1 hour, or they could spend 2 hours stuffing everything under the bed. That's 1 divided by 2, that's a lazy kid. And I've always been pretty high on the laziness quotient. It's good news and bad news on this pipe. The good news is I'm getting it all cleared up and at least stacked into a neat pile where I can work on it. The bad news is my plan to use the plasma cutter has an issue because the plasma cutter's plugged in the shop. Whoa, gosh, that was unnecessary. Hopefully I at least stop and pick the camera up. Nope, I'm going to just drive right past it. But I was saying, I have a 50 amp 240 or 220 plug-in in the shop. I can plug in the plasma cutter. But it's got a short cord. And I can't get this pipe inside the shop. So I may have to see if I can get access to a torch or get an extension cord. But a 50 amp extension cord would not be cheap. So we'll see what happens. Well, the job's not done, but it's 90% done, and I can always get that other 10% later. Okay, I really am running out of daylight, and I don't want to mess with this stuff in the dark, but I'm going to finish this job in the next couple days. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.